Hi, my name is Rose and welcome to another tutorial on my channel. So I'll be showing you how to make this rainbow hoodie for boys. Well, for girls too, I guess. Okay, so I've used cotton acrylic yarn and this is Serta Snuggly Replay. It's a DK weight yarn. The texture is quite good because it's a blend of cotton and acrylic, 50% each of the fibers. So basically you need 7 colors, but you need one in a dominant color. So this one is red. This is a larger size for 7 to 8, and this is another size for 5 to 6. And the dominant color for this one is this. So it's like doing it opposite. Here I started with the one that ends here, and here I started with the red that ends here. So you can mix the colors as you want. It's just basically rainbow colors, 7 colors, but you need one dominant one. So for the dominant you need about 2.5 to 3 balls to use for one, and for the other colors just 1 ball is enough to make the front and back panels. In fact, you're going to have some left over afterward. This pattern uses basic half double crochet stitches. Okay, these are crossed half double crochet stitches, and the hoodie is half double crochet only. The trimmings are single crochet. So it's really as straightforward as can be, except for the changing of colors, which don't worry, it's not going to be a hassle. So I don't want you to be discouraged with the colors. I want you to think of a fun creative project that you're going to make as you see all of these colors. And I really look forward to seeing what you make as well. You also need a 4mm hook and a tapestry needle and stitch marker. Keep your stitches nice and loose. No need to make them tight, so that it can be a really stretchy fabric. And because children grow quite fast, it can last them for a longer time. I think that's about it. So let's get to making. So we're going to start by chaining 73. Now, this is for the size that I'm making. For other sizes, it has a different number of starting chains. 1, 2. Here we are. Now I'm going to do half double crochet stitches into each of the stitches across, into each of the chains. I'm going to skip the first stitch and go into the next stitch and do a half double crochet. And half double crochet into the remaining chains across the row. Okay, at the end of the row, chain 1, turn. Now we're going to do crossed half double crochet stitches. So we're going to skip the first stitch and half double crochet into the next stitch and half double crochet into the skipped stitch. So this is how to do crossed half double crochet stitches. You skip the next stitch, half double crochet into the next, and then go back and do a half double crochet into the skipped stitch. We're going to repeat this across the row. Skip, half double crochet in the next stitch, and half double crochet in the skipped stitch. Repeat this across the row. At the end of the row, chain 1, turn, and repeat another row of crossed half double crochet stitches. Alright, row 3, chain 1, turn, and repeat another row of crossed half double crochet stitches. We're going to do this, remember to skip the first stitch. We're going to do this until we have 8 rows with the... Alright, I'm at the end of the row. So I have 8 rows with the color red. So the last, this is the last crossed half double crochet. I'm going to join a new color in there. Pull it tight, pull the red, okay, and chain 1, turn. Row 9 for this size. Okay, row 9 is all half double crochet stitches. I'm going to just carry these ones the tail for a bit. Okay, half double crochet into the first stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, and into each stitch across. Right, so repeat half double crochet into each stitch on the row. At the end of the row, chain 1, turn. And we're going to begin our cross double crochet stitches from the second row. The second row with the second color, with the next color. So skip the first stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch, and half double crochet into the skip stitch. We're going to repeat this across the row, and we will repeat it for the remaining 6 rows, because we need 8 rows red, 8 rows orange, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to meet you at the end of the orange. After 8 rows, on the 8th row of the orange, I'll meet you up there. So just go on and repeat your half double crochet, crossed half double crochet stitches across the row. Alright, I'm at the end of the row for the second color. That's 8 rows, 8 rows, 8 rows. I'm going to join the third color. And I will repeat everything that I've done from chain 1. So repeat everything I've done for the orange row. And so this is basically how it goes. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then when I get to the last color, we begin to shape the armhole. So all you have to do for now is repeat repeat for each color for each number of rows. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a 6th color here. I've done my first row of half double crochet stitches. Now I want to shapen the armhole. Okay, so chain 1, turn, and into the first stitch I will make 2 half double crochets. And crossed half double crochet stitches across till the last stitch on the row. So repeat crossed HDC, half double crochet stitches across till the very last stitch. Okay, we have one last stitch left. I'm going to make 2 half double crochets into that stitch. Chain 1, turn. I will repeat it again, 2 half double crochets into the first stitch. It's right at the corner here. And crossed half double crochet into the remaining stitches, and 2 half double crochet into the last stitch. And again 2 half double crochet into the last stitch. Okay, chain 1, turn. The next row is crossed half double crochet stitches across the row, no increases. So crossed HDCs across. Okay, at the end of the row, chain 1, turn. Now on the next row, we're going to decrease. Okay, on each side, we increased on these 2. We made an even row here. Now we're going to decrease. I'm going to decrease across 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3 stitches. We're going to decrease there. So I'm going to skip the first stitch and do a half double crochet decrease. Half double crochet 2 together. The yarn over again and go into the next stitch. and decrease. And I'm going to continue with the cross half double crochet stitches across the row till the last 3 stitches again. So we're going to decrease on both sides, just like we increased on both sides. So half double crochet, crossed HDC across the row till the last 3 stitches. Okay, I have 3 stitches left here at the end of the row. I'm going to decrease. I'm going to decrease in the next stitch and in the last stitch. So that's a half double crochet decrease in 2 stitches, across 3 stitches. So in the next stitch, skip the next, and in the last stitch, decrease, chain 1 turn. Alright, we will decrease again. So this is the first stitch on the row. I'm going to skip that and decrease across the next 2 stitches. Half double crochet decrease. All right, and I'm going to do crossed half double crochet across the row to the last 3 stitches again. And we'll decrease again in the last 3 stitches. Half double crochet decrease, skip the next, and then in the next stitch, decrease, chain 1 turn. We're going to do this one more time, that is decrease. Skip first stitch and decrease in the next 2 stitches. Okay, and half double crochet, crossed HDCs across till the last 3 stitches again. And decrease in the last 3 stitches. Half double crochet decrease. Chain 1 turn. So that is the last of the decreases we're doing for the armhole. All right, 2 increases on the side, 1 even row, and 3 decreases. Now 1 even row, which is just crossed half double crochet stitches across the row. No increases and no decreases. Okay, I have 2 last stitches here. So when you're completing the even row, you need to really look, because sometimes it will look as if there's just 1 stitch left, but there's actually 2 stitches, because remember that this was a decrease. So I'm going to do my last crossed half double crochet stitches in there. Okay, I'm going to change to the last color. Remember that we're doing 8 rows. For this size, we're doing 8 rows each for each color. However, the last color will always be more than the rest of the other rows. So this is 8 rows. Okay, and we're onto the final, the last color, the 7th color. And for this, we're going to work half double crochet stitches across. I'm going to do it on 4 rows. So there's no increase or decrease here, just crossed HDC stitches. Oh, sorry, I need to start with the half double crochet first. and then go on to the crossed half double crochets. So for this row, repeat half double crochet across the row. Okay, and there we go, half double crochet across the row. And then on the next 4 rows, we will do the crossed HDC stitches, and then we will mark the neckline and we work the arm up. Yeah, that's how we do it. Okay, so now I have marked the neckline, and I'm going to shapen this part for the neckline. So okay, at the end of the row, chain 1 turn and crossed half double crochet stitches up to the point where we have marked. Okay, at the end of that point, okay, this is where I marked. So here I have 20 stitches, 20 stitches, 24 stitches in the middle. So that's for this size that I'm making. Now I'll chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to decrease across 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. So I have these 4 stitches here. I want to decrease. So I will decrease. I will skip the first stitch and decrease in the second stitch here. Okay, the decrease is not a HDC decrease. It is a, we're doing cross DC string. So I'll skip 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth. In the 4th stitch, I will do a half double crochet, and then I will come back and do a half double crochet into the second skip stitch. Alright, so I have decreased across 4 by skipping 2 stitches. Do that again. Skip 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3. In the 4th one, half double crochet. And in the second one, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have 3 skipped, and then in the second one, do a half double crochet there. That is the middle stitch. Okay, and continue to make half crossed HDCs across the row. Chain 1, turn. Do crossed half double crochet stitches across the row. No, on this row there is no decreasing. So the decreases are on alternate rows. So one row is an even row. We work all the stitches, and then the next row is will decrease. Okay, so when we're working this way, there is no decrease, but when we're working backward this way, we decrease in the first 4 stitches by skipping 2 stitches entirely. And the last crossed HDCs. Chain 1, turn. We're going to repeat another decrease now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm skipping 1, 2, 3. In the 4th stitch, I go in, and in the second stitch here that was skipped, I go in. Alright, so we'll continue. 1, 2, okay, yeah, half double crochet stitches across the row. So you chain 1 and turn. So for this size, I have just 2 rows left for the arm here. So 2 rows left. What we're going to do now is a bit different. So for this okay, this is two sets, right? This is 4 stitches, but 2 sets of crossed half double crochets. So we're going to do single crochet crossed SCs now in these four stitches. So crossed single crochet, crossed single crochet, okay, crossed single crochet, crossed single crochet. I'm going to continue with crossed half double crochet across the row, crossed half double crochet, crossed half double crochet, crossed, and the last stitch, crossed and crossed, chain 1, turn. We're going to decrease again, skip 1, 2, 3, half double crochet into the 4th stitch, and go back and make a half double crochet in the 2nd stitch. All right, and crossed half double crochet stitches until the last 4 stitches. In those we will make we will make crossed single crochet stitches in those ones. All right, now crossed single crochets, because we have 4 stitches left. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and single crochet. So that's it for the side. We're heading on to this side. Now the reason for this single crochet is to make this part slope, you know, just slope down when we join, just for aesthetics, you know. All right, so we're heading on to the other side. You want to make sure that the wrong side of this last stitch row is what's facing you. This is facing the right side right now, so I'm going to just turn it. I'll turn it, I'll snip my yarn, and I'll join it into the stitch. Alrighty, so join yarn into the stitch that you've already marked and chain 1. We're going to do crossed half double crochet. So crossed half double crochet into the 1st stitch and go back and do another HDC into that place you joined from, and cross half double crochet stitches across the row. Chain 1, turn, half double crochet, cross half double crochet stitches across, and we're going to decrease in this 1, 2, 3, 4, across these 4 stitches, in the last 4 stitches. All right, I have 4 stitches left here. I'm going to decrease. Just this is going to be a bit different from how we did it on this other side. Here we decrease in the 4th and 2nd stitches. Here we're going to decrease in the last. Okay, we have the last stitch here. So we have double crochet in there. And we have double crochet into the 1st stitch because we skipped 3. So into the 1st stitch we'll do a half double crochet, chain 1, turn, half double crochet across the row. Do not forget you have a stitch here, so it looks scrunched, but take note of it. Cross HTC across the row. Alright, chain 1, turn, and we'll repeat again row 1, 2, row 2, because we're going to decrease. at the end of the row across 4 stitches. So cross half double crochet till the last 4 stitches. Alright, and 1 2 3, skip 3 stitches, half double crochet into the last stitch, half double crochet into the first skipped stitch. Alright, chain 1, turn, half double crochet, crossed HDCs across the row till the last 4 stitches. In those last 4 stitches we will make crossed single crochet stitches. And cross single crochet stitches in the last 4 stitches. Alright, chain 1, turn, crossed single crochet stitches in the next 4 stitches. Now crossed half double crochet stitches till minus the last 4 stitches. Alright, decrease time, skip 1 2 3 and half double crochet in the last stitch and half double crochet in the first stitch. Okay, and we're done with the front panel. The back panel is exactly the same as this, except this part. The only part is that we only have 2 places, 2 rows that we mark out for the neckline. So here it goes. So from here now, I'm going to, this is the back panel, right? I'm going to continue making these rows. I'll make them all the way up except the last two rows. Before the last 2 rows, I will mark out the stitches and do them. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So work the back panel, make the back panel just the same height, work it up. So okay, so for this color we have 2 4 6 8 10 12 14 14 15. So I have 15 rows here. For this size I'm making 15 rows. So for the back panel, I'm going to work this up to this last color up to row 13. Yeah, so that will be minus 2 rows, and we'll finish those 2 rows together. I'll show you how to do those ones. So yeah, just go ahead and repeat for the back panel all we've done on the front panel. Alrighty, I'm on the back panel and have just 2 rows left to go. So what we'll do now is, because the number of stitches here is 14 and we need to make 2 rows for the back panel, so I have marked out the neckline. So here I have 16 and here I have 16. So because we have 14 here, so I'm adding 2 for the previous row, and then when we decrease on the next row, the last row, we'll have 14 stitches. Okay, so that's that. And remember, we're going to do cross single crochets because we did the same thing for the front panel on the last 2 rows at the sides. So cross single crochet in next 4 stitches. Okay, now cross half double crochet. Okay. Alright, 16 stitches across. Chain 1, turn. Now I'm going to decrease. So remember, we're decreasing across 4 stitches. We're making crossed half double crochets. So I skip 1, 2, 3 stitches and into the 4th half double crochet and into the 2nd stitch here. Cross, okay, half double crochet and carry on, cross half double crochet until minus the last 4 stitches. Alright, we have 4 last stitches here. So single crochet, cross single crochets across these 4 stitches. So that's 2 sets of single crochets, of cross single crochets. Alright, and that's it for the first side of the back panel. Now I'm going to join my yarn, making sure that this last row here is facing the wrong side. Now join my yarn in the stitch. Chain 1 and cross half double crochet in next stage and in the same stitch where we joined the yarn. Alright, now cross half double crochet across minus the last 4 stitches and crossed single crochet in the last stitches and then 2, chain 1, turn. Alright, crossed single crochets in 4 stitches. That's 2 sets of cross single crochets. And crossed half double crochets across minus the last 4 stitches. Okay, I have 4 stitches left here. So skip 1, 2, 3, half double crochet into the last stitch. And half double crochet into the 4th stitch, which is the first one here that was skipped. Alright, and I will snip the yarn and join. Okay. Alright, once we finish with that, we're going to now join the shoulders and the sides. Now the right side of your work, how do you know the right side? The half double crochet stitches that are not crossed, that are facing the right side, that tells us this is the right side of our work. This is the right side, this is the right side of the half double crochet stitch. And for the back panel, the second panel, the same thing goes as well. You will also notice that I do not have any of those tails peeking out from here. I carried them along when I was working with when I was changing colors. That is my mistake. I should have left the tail. So you leave your tail, leave the tail long enough so that you could use those tails to sew based on the color of each of the rows. But for me now, what I'm doing now is I have cut out strips of the color to use for each side. For you, definitely, when you want to sew the second side of the panels closed, you need to cut out strips. Cut about 8 inches. 8 inches should be enough to sew the strips on one side. But for the ones that you already have, the tails are already picking from here due to the color change, you can leave them. I mean, you can use them to join the sides instead. Okay, so I'm going to start with this red here. Please note that now this is the wrong side is facing up. Okay, so I'm sewing from the wrong side of the panels. Okay. So want to match each row to each row. I'm going to take this back. I'm going to work it backward since I'm done with the red, because I want a very secure joining. And good thing that I have extra tail left, so I am going to sew it again backward. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to weave this in as well. Weave it in through here. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm also going to weave this one in. I know it's a lot of work, but this is what I get for deciding to play with colors. 7 colors of the rainbow. So this one I'm just going to weave it in. That's it. That's it. Now I'm going to go to the next color. And I will join. Start from there. Okay, I'll leave this little tail down here. Okay, so I'm done joining all the open spaces. Now remember that when you join this side, the last place to join is just before the decrease begins. Okay, so you don't close up the decrease rows, only the rows here. So we have increases here as well, and then the decrease begins. So on the last increase row, that's where you stop your joining, and then the decrease rows branch out. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to trim this side. I have done this already, and we're going to do the second side before we make the hoodie. So I'm going to join yarn. I have, because this is the joining, so we'll use that as the starting point. Okay, join your yarn, chain 1. I'm going to make a single crochet into the same space where I just joined the yarn from. So what I want to do now on each row is to make 2 single crochets. So here you just have to really look out and be patient as you go into each of the rows. I'm going to make 2 single crochets for each of the stitch rows. Sometimes you'll have to work in through the stitches itself into the body of the stitch, because you won't always see a space, an open space to work into. But just be conscious that each stitch row should have 2 stitches. I'm going to do that around, single crochet around into each of the stitch rows. Okay, at the under the sleeve here, or rather sleeveless, I mean down on the bottom part here of the armhole, into the last stitch row. So we're going to make 1 single crochet each, 1 single crochet here, and in the next one 1 single crochet. All right, not 2 single crochets this time, and we will continue to make 2 single crochet into each stitch row up. At the end here, I'm making my last single crochet into the last stitch row there. So I have 2 already. I made 1, and then that's the last one there. So we're going to snip this off, join, sew it, weave in the tail, and we'll head on to the make the hoodie. Once we're done with that, now we're going to make the hoodie. If you notice, now I have marked this part. Now these ones were already marked before when we marked out the neckline for the shoulder, but I have left the stitch markers there. Now I want to mark this middle as well. So the number of stitches you have at the center here will be an even number. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 12 here, 12 here. So we're marking the middle stitches. These are the 12 stitches each. So I'm counting in 2s because they are crossed stitches. So we have 4 stitches here. So between these 4 stitches, we will mark out the 2 that are in the center here. That is what has happened in this place here. That's why these 2 stitch markers are there. So we want to start in this one that we have marked on this side. Okay, we have another one here that we marked. So if you notice, I'm using the dominant color, the remaining color for the last color rather, on the top. You can choose, depending on what you end with or what you start with, you can use that as well for yours. So I'm going to join now. Going to join the yarn and chain 1. Okay, into that same space, this same stitch where I joined from, I'll make a half double crochet. I'm going to drop this tail, half double crochet. Okay, skip this next stitch that is marked, because remember we marked 2 stitches here. Skip the next stitch and make a half double crochet into the remaining stitches, 1 half double crochet each. If you want, you can remove the stitch marker for this one so it doesn't confuse you with this one that hasn't been worked into. All right, so we're going to do that for here. Just remove the stitch marker and leave the other one. So half double crochet around. Keep your stitches nice and loose. Okay, now we are at the corner. In this corner, we're going to make 2 half double crochet stitches. Okay, and we're heading on to the shoulder part. Into each of these stitch rows, all the way down, we're going to make 2 half double crochet stitches into each stitch row. So you would have to work into the stitch and the space there on each stitch row, you know, just like we did for the single crochet for the outer armhole. It can be tricky, but take your time. There's no rush here. Okay. Two half double crochet in 1 stitch row. I'm in the next stitch row now. Half double crochet and half double crochet. The next stitch row, I'll repeat the same thing. Half double crochet and half double crochet. Okay, and we're going to make the last half double crochet into this stitch here where we skipped. Remember, this is the first half double crochet we began with, where we marked. We skipped the next half double crochet and we made half double crochet across. So now at the end, because this is the last half double crochet stitch, we're going to make half double crochet, but from the back. Okay, almost like doing post stitches, but not quite, because we're working into the stitch that we skipped here. So I'm going to go all the way back here. And work into that stitch that was skipped. And we have our half double crochet. And we chain 1 and turn. We're going to be decreasing now. For the next 5 rows or so, we will decrease. So I'm going to do a half double crochet decrease. We're decreasing across 3 stitches at once. Okay, I'm going to finish up yarn over again. I'm going to carry this tail. Yarn over again and skip the next stitch into the 3rd stitch. Go ahead and make a finish up the half double crochet decrease. Now we're going to make half double crochet stitches around. We're going to decrease again at the end of this row here. So half double crochet around. So 3 stitches left here. Half double crochet decrease, the finish up yarn over, skip the next stitch, and in the last stitch we're going to finish our half double crochet decrease, chain 1, turn. We'll decrease again. In the 1st stitch, go in, don't finish off, yarn over, skip the next stitch, half double crochet, and finish off in the third stitch. We have our decrease. Another half double crochet around. So we want to do these decreases for about I'll do about 6 small rows of decreases, and it's going to be different for each size, so please ensure to check out the written pattern. So we're decreasing only across the first 3 stitches and last 3 stitches. Alright, 6 rows of decreases here. That's minus the beginning row. Okay, 6 rows of decreases. After that, we're going to be making only half double crochet stitches. So from here, we make half double crochet, chain 1, turn, half double crochet in the first stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, and half double crochet around into each of the stitches. At the end of the round, chain 1 and turn. Make another row of half double crochet stitches. So what we're doing now, we're raising up the hoodie so that we can join it over the head. And half double crochet into the last stitch. Chain 1, turn, half double crochet around. So just continue to repeat half double crochets around. We'll level it up here. Alright, so we've extended the hoodie up to the point we need for this size. Now I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to turn it and slip stitch. Slip stitch is closed from the first stitch here to the next to the first stitch on the opposite side. We'll slip stitch into each of the stitches to close it up. I'm going under both loops. Okay, that's it. So now, okay, this is what we have. All right, and if you notice, when it is worn, this part will protrude, and it doesn't really look good. So I have marked these points: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 rows down. I'm going to tuck this in. I'm going to tuck it in just like this, and sew it from in here. Okay, let's get our needle. you're going to have something like this when you're done, so that when we fold it, this part will not be protruding. It's going to lay, it's going to be curved. Okay, once you finish joining, we're going to trim the front here. That's the last part and we're done. Okay, to begin our trim, we will join our yarn into the first stitch row. This is the first row, the first joining, the single half double crochet there. Okay, we're going to join yarn, chain 1, and into the next stitch row. This is a decrease, 3 HDC decrease. I'm going to make 2 single crochets in that row. And in the next stitch row, 2 single crochets as well. So into each of these stitch rows, we're making 2 single crochet stitches. And then continue, 2 single crochets. Two single crochets into each of the stitch rows. Alright, 2 single crochets all the way up and down, even including this part here where we have the joining. 2 single crochets on each side. And we have the last stitch row here, on the very first row. So that's stitch, and making 2 single crochets there, and we'll slip stitch into the bottom of the stitch. Okay, remember this is like a cross like this. So the stitch that was skipped, even though there's a stitch there now, the stitch that was skipped at the very first row at the beginning, we'll go there and make a slip stitch to finish up the row, and you're done.